I'm going to show you how to make pita breads at home. It's super easy and it tastes way better than the store-bought stuff. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com, and I'm on a mission to help families just like you eat well on a budget. Pita breads are actually so easy to make at home, you're going to be shocked. But they taste so much better than the store-bought, and you actually know all the ingredients that are inside your pita bread. Now, for today's recipe, you can find it linked in the description below, or you can just go to eatingonadime.com and you'll be able to find the full recipe with all of our tips and tricks. You can print it, you can save it, you can pin it, all on our site. Now, before we get started, I want to make sure you like and subscribe. I don't want you to miss any more of our family-friendly videos. We are uploading videos every single day trying to help you eat well on a budget. First thing we need is active, fast-acting rapid rise yeast, just one package. If you don't have the rapid rise and you have just the regular yeast, we tell you what to do in the post if you want to look into that at eatingonadime.com. Sorry, I can't talk today. We're going to throw that in there into the bowl with a teaspoon of sugar. Look at my big sugar container. Don't judge. Sprinkle that in there. And then we need 1 cup of warm water. So it doesn't need to be hot. You just want it to be warm to help activate that yeast. And then we're just going to whisk all those ingredients together until they're well combined. Just keep whisking it. It takes a minute for everything to dissolve, but you want everything to dissolve before you're finished whisking. Once it's whisked in, we're going to add a teaspoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And we're going to whisk that together as well. Now we just have to add the flour. I'm using all-purpose flour. We need 3 cups of it, but we are going to add it in a ½ cup at a time because you may need a little less or a little more depending on how you measure your flour basically. So when you measure your flour, don't pack it in there. I just kind of do a scoop and then I use a knife or a leveler. I gotta mix this up. I can't talk and do it at the same time. A knife and a leveler just to level off the top. Actually, I'm going to start with a whisk. And then as it gets thicker, I'm going to use that spoon. So that's 1 cup. Okay. Now we're going to add in another. So remember, just level it off so it's nice and level on top. I'm going to mix it in. Now I'm at my second to half. I'm on my last cup. So I just mixed in this ½ cup. And we're just, as you can see, it's getting much thicker. It will be runny at first, but we're going to let it incorporate. And it's almost like you're kneading it with your spoon. I have 1 more ½ cup to add. So I'm just measuring it again. I want to show you kind of up close how you just scrape it off. And we're going to toss it in. And then mix it together. If you have to, this is the time when you might have to get your hands dirty and knead it all together to get that flour all incorporated. So now I took off my rings and now we're going to gently knead the dough to incorporate all that flour together. So kneading just means you fold and you poke. You fold or punch, I guess is what I should say. And you just keep folding it in and punching it to knead it until all of that is together. After you've gotten the flour incorporated, then we're going to move on to the counter, a clean counter. A little bit of flour just to dust the bottom with it. Just spread it out, and then you're going to knead for 10 minutes. So that's just folding and kneading it together. Hence why we took the rings off. And as you keep kneading it, it should get less sticky and less sticky. If you need to, you can always add a little bit more flour if it starts getting too sticky on your hands, and then just keep kneading it. So fold, punch, fold the other way, punch. Okay, so I accidentally misspoke. You don't knead it for 10 minutes. We're gonna knead it until it's less sticky and it looks pretty much like this. I'll show you up close because the light is giving you kind of a glare. And we're just gonna let it sit on the counter now for 10 minutes. You can cover it with a paper towel or a rag. I'm gonna see you in 10 minutes and then we're gonna knead it again. It's been 10 minutes, so now we're going to knead it again for just a few minutes. Doesn't take long, so remember, fold and punch, fold and punch. After you've kneaded it for a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and place it into a glass bowl. That's important. I know you don't wanna use metal. So we're gonna take a glass bowl, but I wanna oil it first. So I've got a little bit of oil and a paper towel, and I'm just gonna rub the oil all over the bowl. And what that is while this was rising, it won't stick to the bowl. So it's super important to do this. Now we're just gonna place this, get it back in that dough form right into the bowl. Then we need some like plastic wrap that we're gonna cover up the bowl. I might not know how to use this on a video. Everything's harder when you're recording yourself. There we go. We're gonna cover this. This is just some press and seal, but saran wrap works great too. Then you're going to place a kitchen towel right on top. We're gonna let this rise. We want it to double in size and it'll take about an hour. So I'm gonna clean up and I'll see you in an hour. Okay, it's doubled in size. Look at it. It just filled up the bowl. Oh, it's been about an hour. Now we're going to punch it down. And then we're going to divide it into 8 sections. So 8 balls, basically. And you can just put this on a clean work surface. Then I'm just going to eyeball it, cutting them and ripping it in half into 2 sections, each one of those in half, this one in half. So see, so now we have 4 sections. Then we're gonna do each one of these in half. That one didn't do very good. Then this one in half. And then this one in half. So now we have the 8 pieces. So now I'm just kind of roll them in my hands a little bit to get them to that ball form and set them out on the counter, clean counter. Let me make sure I say that. Then all we're gonna do is cover it with this towel and we're gonna let it sit for about 10 more minutes. Ooh, almost done. Fill these up. And then we're gonna let these sit for 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. They have gotten a little bit bigger. And now all we're gonna do is we're gonna take a rolling pin, flour it a little bit. You might have to flour the counter a little bit as well. Not a lot, you just need enough so it won't like kind of stick. Then you're gonna take each circle and you're just gonna roll it out slightly. It's about 6 to 7 inches and 1/4 inch thick. You need a little bit more flour on that rolling pin. You don't want to over roll it, so don't spend a ton of time. Just a quick roll out. Come on, Carrie. Can't do this when I'm shooting a video, I think. I want to make sure this, oh, I'm not in the video. Let me move this so you guys can actually see. And we'll come up closer in just a second. So they're going to be thicker than when you make a tortilla at about 6 to 7 inches in length. Just don't like roll and roll and roll like you would if you're making homemade noodles or if you're making tortillas, because we want to have those air pocket in there because they're pita breads. Let me show you up close. Flour your pin and then roll it out. I'm pretty gentle with it and I'm just trying to get it to that 6 to 7 inches and about 1/4 inch thick. So they're still going to be thicker than what you would do if you're making like a tortilla. So I just wanted to show you, see how they're still thicker. And that's what we're gonna do for every single one. I got them all rolled out, and now before we go, we're gonna actually make them on the stovetop today. But if you go to the recipe, you're gonna see that there's 2 ways that you can actually make them. One is in the oven, which is really easy. You just plop them in the oven, let them cook for a few minutes, and then flip them and cook for a few minutes more, or on the stovetop, which is also very easy. I highly recommend the oven version if you're making a lot. So if you wanna make several for like a whole week, you just throw a couple sheets in there, and you can get them all cooked at the exact same time and super quick. I love cooking them on the stovetop just because it has that little extra flavor, but they taste both delicious and they taste both great. But if you're just making them for just 1 or 2, then you go ahead and do the stovetop, which is what I'm going to show you next. Now, something to know, right now, those balls, before we rolled them out, you could easily throw those in the fridge and then pull them out, do a quick roll, and then fry them up on the pan, and you have fresh pita bread for any dinner whenever you want. I mean, you could eat fresh pita bread every single day if you wanted to. But if you're gonna feed a crowd or if you're gonna make a whole bunch, then let's go and do the oven method. So make sure you find the full recipe linked below so that way you can go and look at that oven version as well. On your stove, heat up your cast iron over medium-high heat. I'm gonna use a cast iron pan, and I have ours linked below. I'm obsessed with my cast iron, and we even have videos showing you how to clean it and how to use it. It's just such a great pan to have in your kitchen. Once your pan is heated up, drizzle just a little bit of oil, about a tablespoon, and we're going to spread the oil around on the pan and let that heat up. Then you're going to place your pita directly right onto that hot skillet. Make sure you don't crowd the pan, so I'm just going to put 2 in here at a time. Okay, we're going to let these cook for just about a minute or so until you start seeing bubbles pop up into the pita breads. Hopefully you can see that through the video. Once you start seeing the big bubbles form, go ahead and flip it and cook on the other side for about 1 to 2 minutes. After about 1 to 2 minutes, then you can flip them again. If you can start seeing, look how the beautiful color on the pita bread. If this side didn't get brown enough, you can flip it back over so it can finish cooking. But look at that, it's looking beautiful. My pan's getting a little hot, so I'm gonna turn it down just for a minute and they're almost done. Once they are finished, remove and just place them on a plate to keep warm and go ahead and finish cooking the rest of the pitas. If you need to add oil, you can. I didn't really feel like I needed to. So we're just gonna place these right in just like last time. Let these cook. Remember, it's on nice and hot just so those bubbles will start to form up. So just let it sit and do its thing. This one is even bubbling up more, so I just wanted to show you. Look at those beautiful bubbles. Those are the air pockets. That'll be so tasty. So I flipped them. You can see the beautiful brown color. I wanted to show you compared to my first batch. This is what the first batch looks like. I feel like there was just maybe a smidgen too much oil on the first one. These still taste good, but it's kind of like pancakes. Your first 2 are always the wonkiest. This one's getting nice and poofy. I love it when that happens. Just do 1 more flip. Look at that. These are looking beautiful. Okay, so just give it some time. I do like a little bit less oil in the pan. Then I think I put a smidgen too much the first time because I think these are just not sticking, but they're still getting the nice and poofy that I want. Plus, my pan is super hot, so make sure your pan is super hot and you don't leave your skillet because they can burn really quickly because these are moving really, really quickly. They're all finished. Look, they're just beautiful, and they got the air pockets. You can slice them, you can stuff them, you can serve them with hummus. That's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to include a link to our hummus recipe because homemade hummus is so good. So you've got to try our recipe. Okay, beautiful people. Let me just take off a piece and bite into it. Fluffy. You'll never buy store-bought pita breads again. They're so easy to make. It's a no-brainer. You've got to make it. Now remember, you can grab the full recipe linked in the description below, and you can find everything that we use in there as well. Okay, yeah, this is so good. I have lots of pita bread. I mean, just look at all the fluffiness in there. And you can see, like, look at that perfect air pocket right in the middle. It's just so fluffy and delicious. I'm excited, friends. I'm out of here. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you next time in my kitchen for another money-saving recipe. But in the meantime, don't forget to eat at home by eating on a dime.